Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host, and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up, because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. All right, welcome back to DubLife Diaries. We are sitting down today with a guy who's been shaping minds for over 15 years, running the #1 test program in the country at American Heritage Schools. He's a leader in education, a master at helping students crush the SAT and the ACT, and on top of that, he's a lifelong Volkswagen nut. His first car was a '69 Beetle. He's built countless VWs since then, and right now, he's rolling with 3 unconventional Volkswagens in the garage. Education, classic dubs, and unconventional passions. We're diving into all of it with Lance Kohn. Welcome to DubLife Diaries.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Excited.
Yes. Thank you for your time, brother. It's a Sunday. We're going to rock this today, man. I appreciate it. I have a quick story for how Lance and I met, which is a lot of us, right? We're in the dub scene. We find stuff on Facebook Marketplace. Well, I think I got targeted one day. I was looking for some seats for my thing, and all of a sudden, these beautiful Iron Ace Bomber hot rod seats pop up, and I'm like, there's no way these things even fit in my car, but they're so damn cool. I've just got to find a way to make this work. So I bought them with the intention of putting them in the car. But that's how Lance and I met on Facebook Marketplace. He started sending me pictures of what the seats looked like mounted in the cars that you're looking at behind him there in these Volksrods. They are beautiful. And the rest was history. So yes, man, thank you. Quick story on how we met. Before we get going, I do want to give a shout out to just a couple of my sponsors. First up on the list, Volksmania magazine. I feel like these guys are the flyest VW magazine on the face of the planet. I got many reasons why, but I'm just going to give you 2 of them. The quality of the pages, the art, the everything, and the people. That's what attracts us as a community. The Volkswagen community is the people. And I swear, Paul Cave and the team with Volksmania, they got it going on. They're great people. Volksmania.com. You can use DubLife10, DUBLIFE, the number 10 at checkout for 10% off your subscription. That is U.S. subscribers only. Shout out to Salty Dub. From the beach to the bay, Salty Dub's tearing up the coastal VW scene with events and swag. Also, check out their website, saltydub.com. Same discount code, DubLife10. You get 10% off, merch only. These guys do events too, but same discount code will work. Also, last shout out, and then it's back to you, because that's what this whole episode is for. But shout out to my buddy Chris White, Riverbank Customs out of Pell City, Alabama. Man, this guy's just such a stand-up dude. Such a great father, great person, great husband, all about the VW community. He's all over the Southeast, going to different shows. And anyhow, check these guys out. Riverbank Customs on YouTube. Super stand-up Volkswagen folks. Make sure you give them a follow. Okay, my brother, it's back to you, back to Lance.
It could be about, as long as Volkswagens are a part of it, we are good.
Yeah, so let's talk about how, I guess, young Lance grew up. Where did you grow up?
Southern California, actually.
Oh, okay. Southern Cali. Tell me about your life in Southern Cali growing up.
Well, I was actually born in San Fernando Valley, 1977. So really the 80s in, Southern Cali, which Volkswagens were everywhere. So
and everything, right.
Yeah. I mean, it was just such a big part. You see them everywhere you go. And, when it came time to get my first car, it's just they appealed to me, and they were also obtainable, right? They were at a price point that a 16-year-old kid could go, I'm going to work all summer at this carpet cleaning company, and when I get done, I'm going to have enough for my first car. And, because we were broke growing up, so Volkswagen made sense, and that started it. I mean, from there on out, I was Volkswagen crazy, because I've always had one in the background. always.
So we're going to touch on the story behind the 69 bug in a second, but I want to talk about your professional life because education is really kind of what you do professionally. Was education always something that you were drawn to, or did it come later
No,
in your life?
I wish I could say it was. No, realistically, when I got out of college and came to South Florida, and I came down here because my old man was living down here at the time, and I was kind of like pursuing this DJ career because I had this DJ passion.
Okay.
And South Florida just made like a lot of sense as a place to be when you want to be a DJ. So that's really the beginning of it all, was coming out here and DJing. And I did that for over 20 years in South Florida, doing clubs and
Oh,
corporate
dang.
events. And
I'm your age, brother, so I remember the 90s raves, and
oh my God,
I remember what was going on at those raves, okay?
whole different lifestyle. But long story short, I was DJing in a martini bar out here in Weston, and I had met my wife, who I've been with now 18 years.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Got three amazing children.
Amazing.
And when the pandemic hit, the DJing stuff kind of had to stop because there was just it was really hard to make any money at it when they were canceling everything. So the fallback wound up becoming just doing the teaching full time. Now I was doing the teaching on the side, but it was because of my wife that I was doing the teaching on the side. I hadn't thought about education until I met her, and she was doing private tutoring and she was working for this guy doing these national merit classes.
Oh,
And
cool.
it was just like this thing. She got pregnant and we didn't want to lose the money. So I got a college degree. I was like, I'll prep the material. I'll walk in there during the week. I'll teach. And then on the weekends, I can DJ. And,
Sweet, dude.
it worked, and it worked.
Yeah.
Oh, sure enough, like I said, once the pandemic hit, the DJing just kind of took a back seat, and our company was really doing well at that point. And it was like, this is what I'm doing now. This is it. So we went full blown with it, and we've been doing it, but 15 years worth of teaching, 16 years worth of teaching now.
Awesome, man. So let's go back to the story behind the 69 Beetle, which was, I believe, your first car, right?
Yes, so that's the one. I literally got a job at a carpet cleaning company.
Okay.
And what's the funny part? I wasn't cleaning carpets. I was the dispatcher, answering the phone calls, taking all the sales calls. Because again, the teaching, the voice, the DJing, they all kind of go together.
They
Um,
do. Yeah, man.
they do. They just really do.
They really
So
do.
I did for all summer. I made basically 1,500 $1,600 working all summer back then. Not a lot, but I bought the car for $1,100. Found the car, and at the time, old school Auto Trader, sitting
Heck
there,
yeah.
with the Auto Trader, making the phone calls, setting up the appointment to go meet the car, begging my mom to give me a ride. Here's the funny part: bought the car, $1,100. We get in the car. My mom's following me home. She had at the time a Subaru XT6. Don't know if you remember this car.
I don't, but
One of the
describe it,
ugliest,
and I probably will.
pointy nose, like cut off back. Oh, you have to look it up. Subaru XT6. It was one of the ugliest Subaru, but it was a turbo, and the thing moved. But anyway, I'm following her home from picking this car up. My first stick, first car, somebody slammed on their brakes in front of her. She slams on her brakes, misses the guy's bumper by a millimeter. I'm in a 69 bug in the 90s and, early 90s. And the thing just doesn't stop because obviously I'm sure it needed a brake job and God knows what else. I was 16.
Push them all the way to the floor, man. Yeah.
And I slammed the bug right into the rear end of my mom's car on the way home from picking it up. And all of it was, where they push the front bumper in and then you go to open the hood. It's really hard because it hits the bumper now, So that was the issue.
Okay.
But that was the first one, man. And I drove the wheels off that car for years because first car, a bug. We went everywhere in that thing.
My first Beetle to me wasn't my first car, but it was my first to me when I was 17, fresh out of high school in the Tyrone Square Mall parking lot here in St. Petersburg for $2,000. I had 76,000 miles. It was a 72 standard Beetle auto clutch.
What year was this?
It was a 72.
Well, what year did you buy it?
Oh, 96.
So I was 96. Yeah, I bought mine. It had to be like 93. So right in that same time frame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could have, I guess, when I was 16, I could have bought one. I was into them still, but just didn't have that opportunity. Remember earlier, like we were talking, they were affordable back then.
Yeah.
So I had my job at Jiffy Lube back in the day,
And I
and
paid $1,100 for the bug. Like, what
yeah,
are
I
you
paid 2 grand for
running,
mine. Yeah.
driving, no rust? Like, good luck finding that now. Good luck.
Yeah. So looking back, do you see connections between your love of tinkering on cars and your love of teaching kind of meshing?
I find myself a lot more the student when I'm working on cars
Mm.
because I one of those things where I think I'm better than I actually am, right? Like I know there's when I hang around with guys that just know so much and so talented. And it's like I feel you get humbled very quickly. Like
Yeah.
this is not my strong suit. I have a vision for like the way things should look aesthetically. But if I don't have people helping me,
Right.
I couldn't pull it off myself.
Oh, dude, I feel that so well, so well.
You
It's the
know,
same way for me. I'm not that mechanical, in fact, and I'm not even really that artistic. But I have a vision still, and I still want things. I know what looks good to me, at least, and I know we can accomplish that. But I have to do it through others as well. And I'm not saying as well. I think you're much more mechanically gifted and inclined than me, but I understand.
yeah, and that's no, it's 100% it because like even right now we're welding together the frame of the bed of this one here, the black one. And we're trying to remake the bed. It's like this one, it's actually a really cool story behind this one, but I bought this one off a guy. He was out of either Minnesota, Illinois, Milwaukee, somewhere up there. And he had taken the bug, it's a 61 bug, it was cut in half. They grafted on a 1950 Ford cab onto the back. The rest of the bug was still a 1961 underneath. Everything about it, like the brake system, the front beam, the air shocks in the front, the way they had the airbags or air shock suspension put together was like very didn't you couldn't sit in the car and put the air up. You know what I mean? The bed would do this going down the road that was on there before. So I bought basically the cab because the metal work alone was worth it, right? So I'm like, and I'm looking at it going, I can't do that metal work, not myself. I could weld some stuff, but I can't do that,
Right.
right? So I'm like, let me buy that cab, and then now we basically have rechanged everything on this car, and it had a Type 1 motor in it. I'm putting all new wiring in it, a new motor in it,
Awesome.
everything. Yeah, so there's things I could do, there's things I can't do, but I 100% hats off to all my buddies, man, because that's what makes a lot of this stuff possible.
Yeah, I totally get it. I've got them too, in our little version of the VW community here in the Tampa Bay area.
You
we've
guys got
got
a strong community up there.
yeah, dude. And you got those guys that stand out that are very, very skilled craftsmen,
Yes.
and yeah, man, you have to utilize talent like that. You can't just let it sit around. You gotta,
Build stuff, please. We all want to see what you create.
yeah.
That's a big part of it. So I love going to shows and I love seeing all the Beetle. Like No Dough is one of my favorites to go to because it's so relaxed, so
Yeah.
cool, BWs there and different takes on things. And you see stuff that gives you ideas. And it's like, this is what it's about.
Any other shows that you frequent?
Yeah, Bug Jam. Yeah,
Yeah, Bug
Bug
Jam.
Jam I like to go to. So I took the blue one, but it wasn't blue at the time. It was white with a bunch of stickers all over it, actually. The first rendition of that card before it made, it redid it all. But I took it when it was white. Last time it went, I've been quite a few times, but never with the Volkswagen. Always just with one time when it was white. I'm dying to take the black one once I get it done.
Yeah,
No,
same.
my other favorite, and then it's all the local stuff over here that I can actually get to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I trailer. These are not rain cars. I have to trailer.
Right. Sure. No, all good. Many folks come in, once they get them in town, they go park them somewhere and then come to the events. We have a couple
I
of
drive
events.
them all around town when I get there.
Yeah, exactly. We got a couple of events here in Tampa Bay. I don't know if you've heard of V-Dubs over the Skyway.
I've done that before too. Yeah.
Yep,
Years
yep.
ago though, I did that in my 63 green one that I had.
Oh,
And
cool, man.
up over the Skyway. That was such a cool event.
Yeah, that's coming in April this year. This will be the 27th year. And then downtown St. Pete, we've got B-dubs on the pier. We just did the first one.
It looked awesome, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I was looking at
Thank you, brother.
online, and I'm like, I wish I could have gone.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do it again, January 24th. We're going to do it when it's cooler.
Yes.
So it's coming January 24th of 26.
Okay.
Yep. So
that's good. That's not in my national merit season, so I might actually be able to get away then.
Oh, that'd be cool, man. It'd be cool, especially if you came up and brought the rods for sure. So
one, not both.
Back to the career. How did you go from, because in the timeline, right, you were tutoring, you were teaching, and then versus what you do now, you run like the #1 program in the country for test prep. So how did you go from tutoring to evolving into that?
Yeah, so essentially, like I said, my wife was teaching these classes at American Heritage, but she was working for a guy. The guy had like a contract to run those classes at the school. My wife was the one in the classroom making the curriculum, teaching the classes. This guy was just the business end of it, had the deal. Did it for years. She did it for about 4 or 5 years with him. In that time, she had gotten pregnant with my son. I took over, started doing the classes so we didn't lose the money, did it and worked. And then he hired me on kind of like full time too. So I was also doing that during the week. And then I was still DJing on the weekends. We wound up leaving the guy because he was just, it wasn't right. Right. The relationship didn't work. So we wound up leaving. We went over to FAU, Florida Atlantic, and they have a high school there. And my wife and I created, our own company at the time. We got in with FAU and we started this national merit prep program for that school. We got them to #2 in the state. So American Heritage Schools down here, they have a plantation campus in Fort Lauderdale, but they also have another campus up in Boca del Rey. Okay. And every year, they're always the #1 and #2 school in the state for national merit scholars, except for that year when we were #2 in the state and beat their other campus.
Wow.
Soon as that happened, the owner of the school reached out to us and he said, "Hey, you guys got to come in. We want to sit down and have a talk to you guys, whatever. They hired us on. My company wound up doing the national merit test prep took over for American Heritage Schools. And for 1 year, we were doing, because we were still in a contract with FAU. For 1 year, we had the #1, 2, and 3 schools in the state because we were running both campuses.
Dude,
plus
man.
the FAU, which was insane. It was just ridiculous.
Needless to say, the stuff works then.
Yeah, so because what we teach, right? So and then long story short, then we wound up we're still employees for American Heritage School, but my company handles all the SAT, ACT, PSAT prep tutoring that they require for both campuses. So that's how that all transpired. And within that time, the pandemic hit, the DJing fell off, and then I never looked back. Now I do some car shows once in a while. I'll bring it out for, but that's it. That's it. And it's all teaching all day, every day.
Yeah.
Right here at this desk. But
grinded.
Backdrop.
You change the backdrop?
Yeah, I have to.
Yeah. I get it.
It's one of those requirement things, right? Where they make you do it.
I get it. I did coaching and training from my camera, from a Zoom screen, all the way through the pandemic. In fact, back then, height of COVID, I had gotten my second shot. Not that I even want to talk about that, but I was traveling a lot, and that's how I was feeding my family. Well, guess what you had to have to get on an airplane back then? You had to have your COVID vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So even though I really did not want to get it, I had to. Anyway, I take it, and then at the time it was the Johnson & Johnson one, so I had to get the second one 4 weeks later or 3 weeks later or whatever it was. Anyway, first one, I take it, cool. Second one, both my wife and I contract COVID. The reason why I'm telling you this is because through the Zoom screen, I taught a class with like 20 students in it online, positive for COVID. I'm sick as hell still teaching the class, but
but you do it, right?
Yeah.
And it was the same thing for us when the COVID hit. We were the quickest company to go all virtual with our tutoring. Like, we were easily set up. We had it rocking. We had a full schedule available. We created an app where kids were able to go on and book our schedules, and we didn't have to have parent phone calls as much anymore. We just streamlined it. And by doing so, now we started doing all the classes online, the private tutoring. And what we found, which was very interesting, We have, so the program that we do at American Heritage Schools, we invite between the two campuses, over 250 kids get invited into the program. And that's from spring until October right now, a couple of weeks from now.
Okay.
About out of the 250, about 180 really take advantage of the program. But that's all done in classes virtually now because of the pandemic. So I got 50 kids in a class, 40 kids in a class at a time, every single day of the week, right? And I have 6 teachers, and all of them are running classes at the same time. And everybody's got 40, 50 kids at different points of the week. And we're just going through these programs. Well, what we found was the interesting part, because it was virtual, because of the ease of access, these are all the highly motivated kids. They have strong scores. They want to make national merit. They're driven, right? So because of that, our turnout was better. The attendance was better. We brought up, there was always a misbalance in the two campuses for how many national merit scholars, but because we were virtual, the kids at both campuses were getting the benefit of all the teachers, and they leveled them out. We got so many more out of the whole group.
Wow.
It was better because we can do this, but it's only because the kids are motivated. That's it. If you have kids that are not motivated, this is a horrible way to do this.
So let's play Mythbusters for a second. What's the biggest myth about test prep that you can bust?
Biggest myth about test prep? That's a good question. What would be a myth about it? Realistically speaking, that you can cram it. You just can't. It's
I love it.
Not the SAT, not the PSAT, it's not crammable. If you're one of these people that like to procrastinate and kind of wait, I get it every year. I get students all the time that jump in and they do this, 2 weeks before a big SAT. Oh, I just want to get a few lessons and do some tips and tricks and, come up a couple hundred points. And yeah, that's not a thing. And I wish sometimes you can tell that straight to them that that's not a thing. You can't, right? At the end of the day, you kind of have to work with them and do the best you can and try to give them crash courses when they require it. But the best prep is spaced. You don't want to do it.
It's the best prep is prep.
It's prep.
It's prep. It's
prep.
You got to do it.
A lot of people are afraid of the work, but if you do it consistently, like I tell my students, make a habit out of it. There's no substitution for repetition.
How do you convince parents or even like kids, like stressed out kids, skeptical parents that test prep matters? Like what's the pitch on test prep?
What we're teaching is not test prep. What we're teaching is critical thinking.
Okay. So let me rephrase that then. How do you convince skeptical parents and stressed out students that critical thinking matters?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's how it becomes applied. It is universally, you can apply this universal because you have moving forward. They're going to go to college. Say you want to be a doctor. You got to take an MCAT. You want to be a lawyer. You're going to be an LSAT. You want to get a real estate license, right? Let's talk about what real estate license you do. Real estate.
Yeah.
Multiple choice tests where there are strategies, tips, and tricks that will apply. You think that different from what we're teaching for SAT? They're not, right? When you're on the real estate exam, are you going to pick an answer choice that says all blah or never only this? Like, no.
You start to learn. You can even see like the trends. It took me a few times actually to get through. My wife has a background. She went to Rollins College in Orlando. Her background's education. And I was always asking for like, help me get like, learning cards, flashcards, like help me do this, help me do that. She always just tell me no. Best way for you to learn is to do it.
Yes.
And stop asking everybody else to do it for you. Right. So finally, probably 10 years after I took it serious, the only way I passed the Florida real estate test was by learning the content.
Yeah, you really have to. There's ways, right? So I have a real estate license. I have a Series 7 for stocks and Series 63 for commodities. I even have a Florida roofing license. The reason I have all these licenses is because I'm a good test taker. That's all it really is.
See, I like that. I'm a horrible test taker.
But if you understand, and that's the thing, like that's what we're teaching students is the critical thinking aspect of how to look at this stuff. You can't be looking at a test through the lens of, why is this the right answer? And what could I do here? You need to be looking at a test as might be easier to prove these other ones wrong.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Great point.
It's a different mentality, right? It's because you want to critically think, problem solve your way into it, which is why I'm an advocate for the SAT over the ACT. The ACT is a very heavy memorization type test, where the SAT does a lot better with critical thinking, problem solving. So, and I like that aspect of it. So when I'm teaching students, I love being able to show them how to look at something from the side, from the top, from the bottom, from the
Yeah.
front, just giving them multiple perspectives. Yeah.
That's the light bulb moments. That's when they
Yeah.
happen, right? When it
Oh,
finally connects and they connect and you're
finally
like,
connect.
oh, they
Yeah.
do. Oh, yeah. I love that. I love
Yeah.
that too.
Because a lot of my students, they read some of this stuff. And with the real estate, I'll give you a great example of this. I remember when I took the real estate exam, and you're reading the terminology that they're giving you for these questions. And you're so focused on the terminology that you're missing the action. You're missing what's happening. So my students, the same thing. They get to an SAT passage talking about, I don't know, why colony collapse disorder causes this type of and they get so wrapped in the subject they miss the important stuff, the relationships, the verbs, the actions, the
Oh, yeah.
like
Good stuff.
why I tell my kids all the time, I'm like, I don't care how hard a passage is, you can't fool me with the verbs. I know my verbs. So you could keep looking at that genius special name that they made for that animal, but I'm gonna be down here picking the action that matters.
That that's such a cool touch because I don't have a background in education at all. In fact, I probably ran from it as far as I could, as early as I could, just because, ADD, dyslexic, dysgraphic. I was all kinds of Sylvan Learning Center fun when I was growing up.
It's very discouraging, right? Because the way
Yeah, man, totally. Because I can't, this is probably why your business exists, because there's tools to help guys like me, pass tests. And I needed those tools, right? But really, what I needed was dedication and commitment, and that's really that's what I got it from.
dedication and commitment, I always feel is, I don't know, I feel like it's a bit of a misnomer because a lot of it is motivation and interest, right?
Yeah,
So
I was
it's like,
highly motivated this time too.
yeah, and that's the thing. If you're interested, if it's what you want to do,
Yeah.
there's nothing going to stop you from figuring it out. I don't care if I'm sitting there watching a YouTube channel at midnight in my garage trying to figure out how to change a tube or the bushing in the tube of like it doesn't matter. If I'm in that motivation state of inspiration, I'm going to do it. And the same is true in education. You have to act as if. You have to act as if this is really what you want to do. If you don't want to do it, pretend, but fake it. At least that's what I tell my students, right? Because I want them to do well. So sometimes you got to tell them to fake it, but yeah, if you're inspired, if you're into what you're doing,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
going to.
Do you have any like maybe favorite success stories or students that have stuck out in the past? Like, somebody like me maybe that isn't good at test taking, that struggled, that then went through your program and was able to move on with their lives.
There's one or two every year, man.
Man, that's great, dude. Good for you.
There's a
Okay.
lot of kids. So you see these kids that come in. Like I remember one year we had one kid who he was just 1 point shy of the cutoff for getting invited into the program. And he was also at the time, he was a faculty member's kid too. So somebody who had worked at the school. So we're always like, to me, the cutoff number that we set for kids to get into our program isn't as important as them wanting to be there and do the work. So we lowered the number for the whole school 1 point. So a bunch of other kids also got in then. That way it was fair. But we also let that kid in. I've never seen a kid who worked so hard. The kid just put the effort it blew us away because he wanted it, right?
Yeah, man.
For the
Awesome.
program, he was the highest scoring student we had that year.
I
And he
love
was
that.
the lowest scoring coming in. So seeing that kind of change is always rewarding, because you hear it. And then there's others. You get text messages randomly, like a girl a couple years back. She went to USC. She got accepted to USC. They gave her a special dorm room because she was a National Merit Scholar. They gave her a laptop. They gave her her own college advisor while she was like a unique one that was a much smaller group of kids,
Okay.
only the Merit Scholars. And they gave her a per diem. So she had like money every day for, small, but like covers food, this, that, and the other. Like you hear these stories and you're like, God, Kids going to school for free and getting all this stuff, and it's like, because of what? They answered 20 more questions right on this test.
Crazy, but that such is life. They do the same thing with credit scores to Americans. Have you noticed a difference in, you've been doing this a long time. You've seen multi-generations come through now. Have you noticed a difference in the way kids learn now versus the way they learned? You've been in what, 18 years, 18 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, well, probably 15, well, 16, I guess.
15.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
16.
either way. No, not really. I mean, I think that, I always laugh because you hear that about education. Like, we're not number one in education. Our education system is terrible. Our education is, and yeah, that is true to some extent on some parts. But when you look at the groupings of where the smartest kids are coming from, if you look at like schools like I'm in right now, American Heritage, they are just second to none. Our top percentage of kids are competitive worldwide, 100%. So it's there. Yeah, there is probably a large chunk or swath, parts of the country where education is really hurting. But overall, if you look at our best and brightest, our best and brightest are beating a large chunk of the world as well. So it's a very deceiving thing when people say, "Oh, well, our education system's terrible." The ones who are not taking advantage of it, yes. But the ones who understand how to use the system, understand how to take advantage, understand what it takes, what effort needs to be done,
Yeah.
they're thriving educational. You know what I mean? As far as that's concerned.
No, I got you. And I understand that because my wife is an educator and she homeschooled all of the first four of my teenagers. They're all my youngest teens, 15, be 16 in June. And then they go up from there up to 19. And she's got all of them through, with,
Fantastic.
yeah, dude, it's,
If you have the time to sit and do the teaching and everything, that's great, and that's a big part of it too. Like that's actually one of the fields that we've been breaking into slowly as well.
homeschool.
Homeschoolers, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
there's
yeah.
a lot
Hey,
of,
that's a good market.
yeah, they're still taking SAT, ACT. They don't do PSAT, but they do SAT, ACT, stuff like that. There'd be no downside to, and I know there's a big convention that happens in
Orlando
every year, and
Yeah.
we'll go get ourselves out there and, kind of.
Yeah, we used to go. We'd pick up all kinds of nuggets and meet people, and yeah, it's great. It used to be at the Gaylord back in the day.
Oh, I love that place.
Me too, man. Me too.
It's such a cool place,
It
man.
really is, man. It really is. All right, let's shift gears. Pun intended. Let's get
Yes, I like that.
let's get back to Volkswagen. So this first bug, this first bug that you worked on, your first car, what did working on that car teach you about life that textbooks never could?
Patience. In a word.
I mean, that's a pretty good answer, man.
I don't know if there's anything beyond that. We got an accelerator cable stuck for 3 days. Give you an idea, right? We were trying to pull an accelerator cable out, me and my buddy, in his backyard at his house, just the cable snapped, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Common mistake.
Yeah, common.
To all the cars.
Happens with all of them. I went to go pull that out. My first time messing with it, pulling the whole pedal assembly out, making sure, and it had broken the back. I didn't know enough to say I should probably take the frayed end and tape it up prior to trying to pull it out.
So you had to reroute it.
So, when I went and pulled the cable in the tube, it got stuck. It got held up. A piece of metal got held up and pinched, and something that was probably rotted in there. You know what I mean? And just not allowing it to pass through. And no joke. I mean, there were moments where two of my buddies are sitting there, and they look like a cartoon with the three of us feet up, got the cable, and we're all pulling on this thing, trying to get it out of the tube, pushing it forward, pulling it back, greasing it, shooting for 3 days before it finally broke free and we got it out. So, yeah, patience.
Yeah, no, good.
That's got to be number one.
Good answer for sure. And I know in your past you owned a bunch of VWs over time, and I know you've done a lot of stuff to these cars. But like looking back, what's been one of your favorite cars, I guess, or your favorite builds so far?
I'd say, I mean, the ones I'm sitting on are my favorite right now. Obviously, just because they're so unique and I'm really into them. But
I
The
want to
tel-
talk about those though.
yeah.
Let's talk about them because the listeners deserve to hear. I'm looking at them, y'all. Y'all can't see them, right? But so you've got three, two in the
So
garage. Is there
right now
three?
I got three. Yeah. So
You got
right now
two.
I have three. Well, I sold two. There's a couple that got away, and there's still photos that are sitting on my walls right now.
We all got ones that got away.
So the Telefunken bus, I don't know if you saw that in my thing. This guy,
Okay.
this guy.
Panel.
Yeah,
So bay window panel.
yeah, it was a 69 bay window panel bus that I did a full Telefunken theme on. Really cool interior. I did, those in the studio sound deadening panels.
Yeah, the foam panels. Yeah.
That was because on the panel buses you had panels for the bottom, but you didn't have panels for the top on the interior. So I filled all that in with the sound deadening.
Dude.
It's just for looks.
Yeah, it was probably killer on the road then.
Oh, dude, it was so cool. It just looked so cool. But
Yeah.
I sold it at a time where the market was just through the roof, and I couldn't say no to the price. So that was one of the ones where when I sold the bus, I wish I kept it because that was just such a great bus. And then I had a 67 fastback that I sold on Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
And I got 16.5 for the fastback.
Ooh, you wouldn't get that today.
I
But
was like, buy, it can go. And
that's right. That's right.
I got almost 30 for the bay window.
Dude,
Like
man. You sold it like the height of the market.
the height of the market. And
Yeah.
I used that money to actually completely rehab the Volksrod over here, the blue one behind me.
Yeah, let's hear some details about that. So describe these unconventional builds that are in the garage right here for the listeners.
Yeah, so for the two that are in the garage, right now, the one behind me, the blue one, is the one that's in a magazine. I built that one. Originally, it was all matte white with pearl in it. It was kind of,
What magazine is it in?
it's in Air Style. It's over in Europe, big over in Europe.
Yeah,
Really
Airstyle.
cool stuff. Yeah, they're just cool guys. They reached out to me. They saw, the pictures online of the car
Cool,
that
man.
gotten everywhere. The guy reached out. He goes, "Hey, have you ever been featured?" No, never. So he sent me some email with like a list of questions, and you go through, you answer everything. And my buddy Eric Fernan with the green Volksrod, and a lot of people in the VW world know Eric Fernan. Yeah, green one on
Yeah.
the other side. But he actually took all the photos of the car because he
Okay.
does some photography stuff like as a hobby kind of thing, but he's good at it. So he took all the photos. We sent it all off to them. And then before you know it, the guy calls me up. He goes, "I got good news." I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "You made the cover."
Oh, dude.
Cool, dude. That's awesome. I was all excited about it. But yeah, so the blue Volkswagen, it's a 66, all original when I got it. Got into a really bad accident. I took parts off rather than putting parts on. And that's how she was born a Volkswagen. Got a
Okay.
5-inch chop on it. Excuse me, 5-inch chop on it. And it is a Fernin chop. The Fernin chop, or an imitation of one. The Fernin chop is my buddy Eric Fernin. They invented a way of chopping the roof of the car without needing extra roofs,
Oh,
which is a big thing. And you can also see it in the back quarter window. If you look at the curvature in that back corner, some chops, they're very squared off. Some chops, they're very pointed. Ours, if you look at ours, the curvature is very much like stock, and it doesn't have any sharp turns to it or pointiness, that kind of thing. It's a really clean curvature, which is, to me, what made it so appealing, right? So 5-inch chop on the car. The car's been extended 8 inches out front. So it's 8-inch longer wheelbase. That's what makes it a Volksrod, is by, we're giving it that hot rod raked look. Bigger tires in the back, smaller tires in the front. The whole front end, everything underneath the hood has been cut out where the gas tank was. I'm running a round spun aluminum gas tank in there instead with the air system also. The rear of the car, you've got a 2276 turbo motor in it.
woo, baby.
Yep, it puts 200 to the wheels when we dynoed it.
A rocket ship.
She scoots, and she's surprisingly quick, right? So, like, one of the things I like about it is like light to light. I actually found out the other day, we were pulling out of a car show, and I got to find out exactly how quick it is because it's only 200 horsepower, right?
But only for what, 1,100 pounds?
Well, you look at like modern technology, modern cars, right? Everything rolling off the line now is like starting at 200 for the most part,
Right, sure.
We're pulling out of a car show a couple weeks back, and there was a Golf R. like a newer Golf R, 2022, 2023, something like that Golf R. We're sitting at the light coming out together. He jumps on it, I jump on it, and I walk him. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
just enough to walk him. And I was like, okay, so I'm a little faster than a Golf R. I'm happy with that. Like that's not bad for a bug, a bug, an old.
No, dude, that's really cool. That's really cool. It's truly a hot rod.
It is. I wanted it to be, that was always my thing, the hot rod look. And as a matter of fact, just to go how hot rod I liked it, the color of the car is 1932 to 1934 Ford Washington blue.
Oh, cool.
No metallics, no pearls. It is that old school Ford hot rod blue. And then the contrast color is all a very light beige. So the interior is beige, the rag top is beige, and it gives it that nice dark blue beige contrast. It's just gorgeous.
Do you have the hot rod seats in that one, or are they in the black one?
No, those are actually, I took stock seats. We cut out 5 inches from the round frame at the bottom, welded it back together, and stuck it onto the stock frames. So the seats sit exactly the same depth as the roof, right? We cut the roof 5 inches, we drop the seats 5 inches.
Perfect.
So when you're sitting in there, you've got a ton of leg room because you're lower in the car.
Right.
And it's just really cool with your arm up right at the window. We actually, because we chopped it, we welded up the entire window seam all the way around. So there's no windows in the car, right? Not the driver passenger door windows. They are gone. Those have been welded up, and we Duraglassed over it the whole nine and made them smooth. So you just sit there with your hand up on it, with your arms sitting up on it, and you're driving down the street, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it looks fantastic, y'all. Everybody's gonna see this because I'll make it the thumbnail, so everybody will be able to see these for sure. But they can also check you out online, where I know you'll be sharing your pictures here. But tell us about the black one now.
So the black one was built by a guy named Eric Shelton. Like I said, I think he's in Minnesota or Illinois or somewhere up in that area. I forget exactly where. He had built the car, I guess, back in 2016, 17, where he chopped the car in half. He grafted on a 1950 Ford truck cab to the back. So it's an actual 1954 truck cab window. The metalwork was superb. Like I bought the car for the metalwork. Was really the reason I picked it up. He actually had sold it to somebody else. That guy had it for a while, did a couple little weird things to it or different things to it not my thing, but they were cool. It was cool. But then he had it for a while, was sitting in his garage. I saw it for sale for quite a while. And the look of the cab, I immediately had an image when I saw it. Like I knew what it should have looked like, kind of thing. My
cool. Yeah, no, good. Love that. They say that these cars, when we find them, that they talk to us, kind of.
Yes.
So
they jump off the page, man. Like a marketplace, and I'm sitting there late at night. And
Me too, bro. Me too.
Why is that one just yelling at me? Like,
yeah. And then you always want, or I don't know about you, but I always want to, I start thinking, I'm like, how can I make this happen? How can I make this happen?
Yeah, people start spinning. Man, I'm like, if I sell this, if I make
dude, me too.
Me too. I can make room on the side of the house. And then it can live in the trailer in the meantime. Find space. Like,
and then I swipe and it's gone.
I know. And you know what? And every time I tell my wife too, I go, see, I told you I should have jumped on that one.
Right. Yes, dude. It happens all the time. I see it too.
Oh, it's too much, man.
Do you ever bring your students into the world of automotive? Or do you keep things completely separate?
I did bring him into the DJ world a little bit during the pandemic when we were all in lockdown.
Yeah, sure.
I would do on Friday nights, I would create a Zoom link like this.
Uh-huh.
My DJ stuff all set up and piped in with good audio to the computer.
Yeah, dude, I remember like some guys from the 90s that were like big radio guys. They were doing that online and, they had, all kinds of people showing up on their live feeds.
Yeah, I only did it for my students because I knew they were locked down and they were bored. So on Friday night at 9:00, I would do Club Merit, and I would basically stream in my DJ set, and I would do a 1-hour DJ set. I used to send them all a Google Sheet to fill out requests, and I would take the requests and I would create a 1-hour set. Yeah. And then every Friday night I'd sit and I'd do a 1-hour mix. and
Sweet, dude.
loved it.
Good
And I did
job.
that. Yeah, I did it for like, I don't know, whatever it was, like 6, 8 months or whatever during the lockdown that I was doing it. But
What a
that was it.
crazy time to be alive, man. Back then, flying all over the country, I was with a freaking with a mask over my face. I looked like an armed burglar,
I
and
know. I
and it
know.
was like I would sweat underneath it. I've always had this beard. It's like, what in the crap are we doing?
Yeah, well, no, you're on a ball spinning at how many thousands of miles an hour? Like
Yeah, right. We're like
knows.
nothing.
Nobody knows. We're all just over here doing our best guessing. Like that's the way I look at it, right? Like
Yeah,
so. Anyway, that was the story of the black one, and then
yeah.
which I'm redoing
What's the
now.
motor? What's the motor and the transmissions in these?
So the trans are. I got a Pro Street in the blue Volksrod.
Okay,
It's pretty much just a stock. Well, so this is a 1961 Bug, but it's been converted to IRS in the back.
okay.
So it's sitting with a 70s transmission and axles. And then I put an 1835 Type 3 motor in this one. I bought it
Oh,
with a Type 1, but the Type 1, the shroud's so high that I'm trying to build a really cool bed for it. And I
you
don't
said
want
that's a 60?
61.
61. So that was what, a 1200 back then?
Yeah, probably a
Yeah.
1200. The motor that was in it when I got it was like a 1600. Somebody
Okay.
had 16. And again, it's so custom. There's nothing stock
Right.
about
Sure.
it. But it was still a Type 1 motor. And a Type 1 motor, when you're doing a VW pickup thing, was never my thing. Like, I see a bunch of guys that have taken a VW Bug and converted it into a pickup, and they all got that Type 1 motor hanging out the back.
Yeah. I can picture that.
It doesn't look right to me.
Okay.
So I immediately pulled that motor, chunked it, and we stuck an 1835 Type 3 motor in there because it's flat. So I still have to build the bed where it's going to be up kind of high, but at least it'll be flat. I won't have this monster shroud hanging off.
Yeah. No, good call.
So that's what I'm doing with the motor and that thing. And then I turned it into, I went full Volksrod with it as well, where we're just going to run no fenders. I got the spikes on the hood like I have the spikes on the hood on the other one.
Yeah,
The
they're
whole
sick
concept
looking.
was
Yeah,
a
it's
shop
super
truck.
Mad Max slash. It's got its own kind of independence. Like looking at both of these cars sitting in your garage, I picture being in Miami and walking on the beach and seeing like two jack dudes with like two really two good looking girls walking with them. Those are your Beatles.
That's too funny. It's so funny. My buddy the other day put a post up. He was like, he put his two Volkswagens up, and I forget what he said. He was like, my trouble or my rebels, something like that. He goes, these are my rebels. So I put mine up. I said, this is my convicts.
See,
it just felt.
I'm
it
in
felt
line
that
with
way.
her. I see two juice diesel dudes walking down the beach. Yeah, for sure.
They just, what's cool about it is you're not held to just the VW world with these, right? So like when I go to shows, I can roll into a rockabilly show and it works. I roll into a hot rod show, it works. I go to a Volkswagen show, they love it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where I go with them because they're so, they're interchangeable, I guess. I don't know. They can go anywhere, right? So that's and then I have one more. I have a kit car from the 70s, a 1976 Invader GT.
Yeah. This is the it looks like the car from Speed Racer.
Yes, very speed racery, but not. I have a later one, 76, not the earlier ones. The earlier ones they call them like a duck bill because the nose looks very duck billish.
Is it GT5 or GT4?
No, the 5.
The 5. Yeah, I'm looking at it, dude. Sick car.
Yeah,
sick looking car. Yeah,
it's a red one. It's got the gull wing plexiglass doors. 1641 motor in the back. All fiberglass. The car weighs 1,600 pounds.
Oh my goodness, dude.
So the goal is I want to take the motor that's in my blue Volksrod now, the 200 horsepower motor. I want to throw that in the Invader.
Oh.
I want to put a bigger dual fuel meth injected motor into the blue Volksrod. That's the goal.
All right, so we're going to be seeing you on the drag strip eventually.
No, I really don't want to race them because when you race them, you break stuff, right?
All right.
So that's what all the race people I know, they all like, dude, how much money do I got to spend on this part and that? But they love doing it. So, but I want it to be, I want it to really piss people off light to light. That's all. I just want people to go, I can't believe I just got killed by a bug. Like, that's it. That's all.
I know, but it's so funny because that bug with 200 horsepower, I swear, I'll tell you, depending on the driver, you can even take, some of these 1600s that have, upgraded exhaust and maybe dual carbs, and they got a lot of spark, and those things are peppy enough, man, to
Yeah.
to leave some of these cars of today in the dust.
Rear wheel drive, the motor's in the back over the rear wheels.
Yeah.
It squats and it goes.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, look, first, second, and third, they're going to be mad at me. After that, you got me. After that, it's all yours. Take off. Once we get into fourth gear, you're going to kick my butt. But
Right.
first, second, and third, I'm just going to be irritating, is what I'm going to be, because you're going to be like, how is this possible that this dude is up there right now?
That's
And
so
everybody
funny.
laughs. It's one of those things. They know it's a bug.
It's a bug. So how about life lessons? What's the biggest life lesson that you've learned from being in the Volkswagen community?
Man, I'd say for me, I don't know if it was really a life lesson for me as much as it was learning from watching other people, right? What do they say? A smart man learns from his mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Well
that,
said.
and I think that more of the life lesson would be more recently with watching the amount of judgment in the car community that has, plagued it a little bit. Yeah, it's something I never want to do. Yeah, I really enjoy everybody's build. I don't care what you do to it. I don't care how wild it is or how stupid the people think it is.
Right.
Just the fact that you're trying, you're doing it. Like, I know my limitations, and there's people out there that make me look ridiculous in their abilities,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
That's fine. But you know what? I'm still going to come out, still going to hang out, still want to see what you're building. Bring it out. I better a parking lot full of mixed cars than no cars, in my opinion.
No, that's the community, dude. That's the vibe. That's why you're on the podcast. That's why we're telling these stories, because that's how we are. You don't go to the Camaro or the Mustang or the Charger show and have those same welcomes.
No, you don't. And
You
you know
don't.
what? No, you don't, dude. And you roll in and
You don't.
so there's 15 Corvettes that the guy just bought and showed up to the show. And then there's a bunch of Mustangs with the same exhaust and the same wheels and the same this and the same that.
Yeah.
You know what? Dude, they're there. And better there's cars there than not, because especially guys like us, older guys like us that are still into Volkswagens, there's not a ton. There's not a lot, there's not a lot of people. Like, nowadays, you get a show together, you get 50 to 100 cars show up. You had an amazing show.
That's right. That's right.
But like back in the day, I used to go to California. We used to go to Pomona. It was thousands of Volkswagens from end
Crazy.
to end. You couldn't, it would take you days to walk through Pomona.
Yeah, there's not that many left.
No.
They crushed a lot of them, and they didn't save a lot of them, and it's been a lot of time now. We're talking about, the height of the culture, I feel, was late 80s, into the early 90s. Yeah. The whole hot tuna and the bright colors, and it's kind of cool. It's coming back.
Graphics and stuff. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. There's a couple posts recently of some 80s style ones. That brown one that I just saw on Facebook that had the multicolored brown.
Yeah, the pink,
sick as heck, dude.
T-top Carmen Ghia with the pink and the purple.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
I rocked the heck out of that, man.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Those things are so cool.
I totally agree.
And thank God for guys like us that are still holding on for dear life and keeping it cool. I cruise around, and that's what I love doing. Like, I love just jumping in, especially here. I'm in Broward County, right?
Mhm.
I love jumping in the Volksrod just to go run some errands during the day, sitting around regular traffic, and I'm driving that thing, the blue one, right?
Everybody's giving you smiles and thumbs up.
Yeah, man. Like, people, like, especially when you see like kids in the back seat looking and pointing and tapping their parents, like, mom, look at
That's
that.
a Beetle. Like,
They don't even know. Some of them don't even know. They come up to you, what is that thing, man?
Oh, you're like, it's a bug. They're like, what?
What's that?
With those spikes?
Everybody freaks out, but that's what you do it for. You want the kids to see it. You want them to be like, inspired to be creative. Like, love these things, man. Love these things.
VWs as a whole, is it a hobby to you? Is it therapy, or is it a way of life?
I think it's a mix. I'll always have VWs in my life at one way or another. So in that sense, it's a way of life. I think hobby, absolutely. It's all I want to do when I have my own time. Therapy depends on the day. Sometimes I'm working on the car, and I don't know if I'd call it therapy. I guess the screaming and yelling is good for you, so that's
Sure.
But then there's other days where it's like you finally get it to start, or you finally get something to look the way you wanted it to look, or that's therapeutic as heck. That's a very you feel accomplished.
Yeah. So, like you said, a good mix.
It is. It really is.
So, in the world of test prep of what you do for work and the world of technology, right? As AI and Chat GPT start to continue to evolve, what do you think's next for test prep? Do you think that you know I guess AI as a whole, websites like Chat GPT, etc. Are they changing the game, or is it good?
It,
Is it
it,
bad? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, there's a lot of good. I'm not going to deny it. I mean, one of the beautiful parts for us is if I'm working with a student and they're struggling with a specific question type problem, I can jump into AI and say, hey, write me 100 main idea questions in the style of SAT, from medium difficulty to hard difficulty. And it'll just write those questions instantly. I can send it over to a student and they can work on it. Right.
I
So
mean, that's killer. To me, that's awesome.
the
Yeah.
ability to just create a resource. Like I remember, just recently we got rid of a lot of the books, but I have a library in my house essentially of SAT books going back from before we started this all the way till current. I don't have books anymore. Everything is PDF, everything is digital, everything is so, having at my fingertips access to everything. I think that part of AI is fantastic. As far as teaching is concerned, again, as a resource, it's excellent as a supplement. As far as like showing students how to think properly, I don't see how AI is going to pull that off. You know what I mean? I think that's
There still has to be the human element there. Is
there
kind of
has to
what I'm
be.
hearing. Yeah.
Yeah, because to me, I feel like, you're literally teaching students how to think, because like I have to explain to them, like on something standardized, like if you have to think your way into an answer choice, you're doing it wrong because you shouldn't have to do that. It's an evidence-based test, right? So it should be explicit. It should be in your face. It should be, but that's something that how's AI going to explain that what you did there? Like I could sit with a student. I love this. I could sit with a student. They'll go through a question. They'll get the question wrong. And based on their answer choice, I could tell you the assumption they made. Right. So, like, if you answered this, I know that's because you read this line and you said, he said this. So it must mean this.
Dang, dude.
But I
That's
gotta
dialed in.
somebody that, right? Like, how's AI going to identify the reason they picked the answer choice they picked? It's not.
No, human element there.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe there's something in that. Like,
Hey, better be careful because it's probably listening to us right now.
yeah, it's it's that Terminator, man. Skynet.
That's right. That's
Gotta
right.
watch out for Skynet, man. They're coming.
What does legacy mean to you, both as an educator and as a VW guy?
As an educator, like I said, I want to know that what we did for the amount of time we did it changed as many students' paths as possible. They got into a school they didn't expect. We made for them the path easier, somehow. At least with education, to me, that's all I can ask for. When I was DJing, I said the same thing to myself. For me, even when I was DJing, it was like, I want to know that what I did tonight made 300 people happy, or 1,000 people in this club happy, or 10 people at this corporate event happy.
Dude, it's that thing we were talking about from the beginning. It's like caring about the outcome. So you're already better as a human because you actually care about what's supposed to happen.
Yes,
Not just hey, here's
it.
this, so that you can get to that finish line. It's like you care about you want to grab their hand and step over that finish line with them.
My impact. I'm not famous. I'm not one of these people that are going to change the world. But if I make a difference in my small corner of my community, I'm happy. And I feel the same way about my cars, right? Like when I build these things, I want to know that somebody was inspired by it. Somebody saw it and will always remember that car they saw. Or, that's it. That's why I do it. I want to enjoy it while I drive it. I want to break some necks. Like I want people driving down the street like, wow, that's cool.
I love it, man.
Impactful side of it. To me, that's my definition of legacy with these things,
Yeah, no, I love it.
Be remembered.
Rapid fire questions. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right. Favorite VW model of all time?
The one I haven't had, the Fridolin.
Ain't that the truth? That's always the one we haven't had.
It's the Fridolin. I would love. For me, it's that would be the ultimate.
That's crazy. Yeah, those are rare.
If I could get, but $80 grand, $100 grand, like that's not in my future. But Yeah, we
You
don't
said
do that
favorite,
much,
so yeah.
but
No,
it's the
okay.
favorite. I mean, if I had the one that I only wanted, sorry,
Okay. Fair
back.
enough. Fair enough. All right. Yeah. If you had to pick one and one only, SAT or ACT?
For us, SAT.
SAT. All right. Next question. Dream road trip.
I've been playing with this idea for a while. Northwest, PCH Northwest. Yeah, PCH Northwest. So like going into like Grand Canyon, up into
Mm.
Yellowstone, like
They got
just
the four corners up there.
yeah,
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 that
dude.
whole
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've driven the country quite a bit, but that's one of the areas that's just one of the prettiest areas in the country. So
Mm.
so beautiful.
How about hardest test? Hardest test that you've ever taken.
Oh, that's Series 7 for
Okay.
sure. That
Okay.
stock test was brutal. Learning about hedging and everything else. Oh,
You got stereo systems in the Volksrods?
the blue one, yes. The
What's
black
your
one, not yet.
what's your go-to type of music or go-to
Oh,
music when you're cruising?
dude, you're asking a DJ that question. My playlist has got to be one of the most eclectic playlists. But I think that's a lot of people nowadays, right? Essentially, but my playlist is very eclectic. I mean, it's a mix of everything from house music to yacht rock to alternative rock to, I mean, it's everything. It's just everything. I have a love of music, always have, which is why I DJed for so long. And there's not much that turns me away musically. There's just not.
Yeah, so I'm your age, and I come from that. Both I had a couple buddies even that lived in my house that were DJs and did the whole scene in Ybor City and all that fun stuff. So I remember the days, but I remember the artistry that also went with that. These guys, they weren't just DJs, they were like musicians too,
Yeah.
because their timing was impeccable.
Yeah.
Their music selection was impeccable. Their ability to understand knowledge and bass line and harmony and just all of that stuff was just impeccable. And until you challenge yourself to try it, you really don't have a respect for it.
Oh
People
yeah.
say, "Oh, it's just DJing." No, it's not
Dude,
just.
I went
It
to
is
go
hard.
audition. I went to go audition at this famous Irish sports bar that was down here. And it was like a DJ competition, and like the winning DJ was going to get a residency kind of thing, right?
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
how they were pitching it, kind of whatever. So they held this whole audition, and I went in there with my own system. I had my decks and everything, and I'm sitting there waiting my turn, and I'm listening to all these younger DJs. At the time, I was a little bit older than they were, not much. I was like 10 years ahead of everybody that was auditioning, and I'm sitting there listening, and everything was the same. Everything was the same. It was like everybody was like pissed off at another guy because they were, oh yeah, I wanted to play that song.
Oh, you got my song. Yeah,
They
yeah.
were all pissed off, and I'm sitting back there going, did I pick the wrong music? Like, I'm worried about what I'm about to play. I did my set, and I'm doing like mixing into like AC/DC TNT in the middle of a house track at the
Oh,
time.
hell
It was
yeah.
years ago. And the owner of the club came up to me afterwards, like, dude, I want you. Like, and not that it was for the competition purpose. And he was like, dude, the mix of music. He was like, everybody played the same stuff. I was like, exactly. You gotta have a variety of stuff. You want
Yeah.
to expect it. Something that makes everybody just go, oh, whoa, where did that come from? That's that. Again, did I make you happy? Will you remember this moment?
Yeah. Love that. Great
I
question.
did my job.
Good vibe right there. What's one piece of advice that you'd give your 17-year-old self today?
My 17-year-old self today,
Yeah.
buy Apple.
Hey
Not for nothing, but like, yeah, Google, Apple.
man, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. All right, how about advice for the VW community? Maybe somebody is inspired by you, by the fact that you may not have a traditional Volkswagen because it's the rod type, right? I know you probably get some pushback from the original type guys in the community, but somebody wants to customize their car. They want a Volksrod. They want to do what you're doing. What kind of advice do you give that person that might not be brave enough, or maybe hasn't been bit by the bug yet, so to speak, to venture into the rod segment?
Don't be afraid to piss off the purists once in a while, man.
There
Like,
you go, brother. There you go.
things don't change. Things don't, nothing gets inspired unless something's different.
Yeah.
You got to break something to make something, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. At least that's how I always looked at it. So for me, yeah, as far as that goes, don't, don't be so judgmental, and don't worry about people who are. That's,
What I took away from that was you got to break something to make something.
make something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's true, right? Like,
Yeah.
if that blue one wouldn't have happened if that lady didn't run a red light and hit me, right?
Right. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
You got to break something to make something. There it
We
is.
gotta break something to make something. We broke it, we made it, and it's killer now. Like, to think that that's the way it was going to turn out. Who knew? And the car is everywhere I go. People are like, "Man, that's so cool. That's so this."
It is though. It is. It is.
I love it.
Totally,
Man.
totally agree, man.
That's why I didn't even know I was a Volksrod guy until I was a Volksrod guy.
Yeah,
Now
right.
I'm like, I get other ones here and there, and I'm like, but look what's living in the garage. What's in the garage are the Volksrods. It's not the Invader is cool, but it's fiberglass, so it's sitting outside because I'm less worried about that one than I am these guys.
Yeah.
But, it's just keep doing it, guys. Everybody, please keep doing it. I don't want this to go away.
Yeah, me either, man. Well said.
That's why my hat's off to you, sir, for the same reason. Talking to people, doing this stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
We need this. Like, this is my therapy, right? Being able to have a buddy I can talk to and talk Volkswagens and enjoy it.
And just the life in general, and again, I seem to say this a lot because it always kind of ventures this in the conversation with my guests, but you're the reason that I wanted to do this podcast. It's guys like you. It's guys that have two of these cars sitting in their garage that you'd never know it by what you do for work, etc. And a lot of the people that work around you probably don't know that side of your life either. And that's what is so cool to me is that
I've never taken a car to school to pick up my kids. Never, not once.
Your type of person is right here in the Volkswagen community, and you guys need to be celebrated, man. You guys are the ultimate DubLife type people. You're living the professional life. You're building these cars. They're awesome cars. You know a lot about them. You're learning tons of stuff that correlate with life and your professional career. Dude, you're a rock star, bro.
You too, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the invite for this.
Yeah, of course, man. And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome! Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning, and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.